Chris and Charles. Chris and Charles. You can call at 876-618-1252.
Teachers, the Chris and Charles double deal is here for you. Borrow $1 million from Chris and Charles and get 30% off your processing fees. Pay less than $25,000 monthly, or borrow $575,000 and pay $12,595 monthly. No guarantor needed. Conditions apply. Offer ends May 31, 2023. Call 876-920-4189 for details. When you think loans, think Chris and Charles.
Listeners to Love 101 FM are advised that the views and opinions expressed in this program are not necessarily those of Love 101 FM.
Hello and welcome to the Morning Watch on Love 101 FM. I'm your host, Dylan Toussaint. A special welcome to our listeners on love101.org, and if you're overseas and on the move, U.S. listeners can access us at 712-832-8001. And if you're in the UK, 0330-332-6541. Or join us via the Love 101 FM app that can be downloaded from the Google Play Store or the Apple Store. You can also join us on Love 101 FM Facebook and YouTube Live. In the first watch today, examining the government's response to assist farmers during the drought. And in the second watch, how is real estate a great investment? For our social media question, we ask, what's your real estate dream? What's your real estate dream? We're asking you to share your responses on our Love 101 FM Facebook page and YouTube channel, and also on WhatsApp 876-997-3125 using the hashtag The Morning Watch. We'll share your responses later on in the program, but before all of that, here's I quote.
Good morning. So today's I quote is an inspirational quote, and it says, always remember that you are absolutely unique, just like everyone else. And this is by Margaret Mead.
Okay. Good morning, Jokal.
Good morning. How are you?
I am well. I trust you are doing well.
Yes, I'm doing well. I am.
All right. Let it stay that way.
All right.
The first watch will be back after this one.
Pull up at the gas station and the attendant come up.
87 and 90.
I don't know why him think I would put 87 in my new car. But me answer him. But when him say
Cash or card?
me say, big man, why would I take my cash and buy gas? I pay for everything with my Surgical Bank credit card. Grocery, gas, bills. Cause when you use your card, you get your reward. If I pay cash, you are gonna give me a reward?
We can wipe your windscreen.
Earn the best rewards ever with Surgical Bank credit cards. Conditions apply.
All-American Institute of Medical Sciences, AIMS, a top-ranking medical school, 66 High Street, Black River, St. Elizabeth. Programs on offer include Associate Degree in Health Sciences, Bachelor of Science in Optometry, and the Doctor of Medicine. Low student-to-faculty ratio, low tuition costs with up to 40% scholarships for Jamaica Nationals, USMLE courses, www.aims.edu.jl, 876-634-4068. AIMS, medical education par excellence. Still accepting applications for September 2023.
Follow Grace Sardine, follow the flavor. Grace Sardine with the chef and the beginner. Follow the one with pepper, that are the winner. Shop on supermarkets, everybody sell it. Do all of them nice. Pass the back, make push it.
Grace Sardines, follow the better flavor.
From generation to generation, Jamaicans have depended on J&M Bank to make the pride and joy of providing a safe place for their families possible. Now, with no processing fees and no down payment mortgage options, you can open the door to your own sweet home, a legacy to hand to your next generation. Visit jnbank.com to get pre-approved today. JN Bank will help you find a way.
Do you have a lab request form to get blood work done but don't have all day to spend? AccuLab Diagnostics Limited is your answer. Open Monday to Saturday, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., 8 a.m. to 12 noon on Sundays. We do routine lab tests, microbiology, allergy, and COVID testing. Fast turnaround, no long lines, clean environment with convenient parking. Shop 15, Bogue City Center, ATL Plaza, Montego Bay, 876-613-2714 or WhatsApp 876-518-9108. AccuLab Diagnostics Limited. Accuracy you can trust.
Me pull up at the gas station and the attendant come up.
87 or 90.
I don't know why him think I would put 87 in my new car. But me answer. But when him say
Cash or card?
me say, big man, why would I take my cash and buy gas? I pay for everything with my surgical bank credit card. Grocery, gas, bills. Cause when you use your card, you get your reward. If I pay cash, you are gonna give me a reward.
Me can wipe your windscreen.
Earn the best rewards ever with surgical bank credit cards. Conditions apply.
Get ready for another inspiring show this Testimony Tuesday inside Alive, 1 to 5, July 25, packed with inspirational stories and island-flavored music. 1:45, we bring you the brain testing Menticize Listener Speak Edition. Stick around for prayer blast at 2 o'clock as we ring in the prayer bells of heaven. Till the demons are the evidence, we share with you another powerhouse testimony boasting about the power of God. Then at 3:15, we go behind the pulpit for another anointed minister's story. All the time will come alive, 1 p.m. to 5 p.m., July 25, with me, Sarah, and the Chirpy One on the family station, Love 101, celebrating 30 years of music, family, and love.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. Thanks for staying with us. I'm your host, Dylan Toussaint. Now, in Jamaica, of all the sectors to be affected by the drought, farming is probably at the top of the list. So the government, through the Ministry of Agriculture, is reportedly allocating an additional $104 million towards drought mitigation efforts for farmers. But is that enough? How will the mitigation be effective? Where, when, and who will benefit? Is that what the farmers want and need? Well, to address these and other related issues, we have online MP Floyd Green, Minister of Agriculture, Fisheries and Mining, as well as Mr. Lenworth Fulton, President of the Jamaica Agricultural Society. Good morning to you both.
Good morning.
Hey, good to have you both with us on the program again. I begin with you, Mr. Fulton. How has or how is the drought affecting Jamaica's farmers?
Very badly. Very, very badly. And it's the heat which is the worst effect now because it affects plants, even if you have irrigation water. With this heat, it does affect the leaves of the plant and affect processes like photosynthesis, which is the process the plant uses to use sunlight to manufacture the food for us, simply put. Mm-hmm. And so plants are not doing well. Animals are worse. So they are in a very perilous state right now that we will have to be improvising. And let me congratulate the minister for that $104 million. But we as farmers have to do something for ourselves as well. We have a lot of things to do for ourselves because even if the minister send a truck with water, you have to have a drum or something to receive the water.
Yeah.
So we have to make some other provisions. Sorry, no. For example, if you have a small poultry operation, a piggery operation, you might have to cut some grass and some tree limb and some bush to put on top of the roof so as to limit the heat going down on the animal. You might have to tie on these bush on there with a tarpaulin to prevent the full effect of the heat. So we have a lot of work to do. So while the minister is doing his very, very best, it cannot have the true effect unless we, the farmers, improvise and know that this might be the coolest of the summers we have now. It might be getting worse. So I encourage the minister to use agencies like National Irrigation Commission to measure the size pond that an entity would use to store water. And you can use a pond liner in the lighter soil, and in the heavier soil, which we call clay, you can compact it. But you would know how much water you need to take you for 100 days if you don't get rain, or 80 days. And you measure the dimension of the pond. So somebody should go to the National Irrigation and they design for them, and they carry that design from a reputable company to a bank and say, I need 5 million to do this.
Pause a little, Mr. Fulton. I want to bring in the MP, I want to bring in the minister. Minister Green, so far, what has been the essence and extent of the government's response to assist the farmers? Apart from the 104 million.
Yes, so the 104 million was actually an additional program that has been rolled out. We did earlier in the year, about March, roll out a program, which at that time, I think, my memory serves me, when I was about $110 million. And the programs have looked at a variety of things. You know, clearly you have to do some immediate intervention, and largely the immediate intervention revolves around things like trucking, and both programs have provided funds for trucking of water to the farmers, because access to water is still challenging, especially in areas where they do not have irrigation supply. And, you know, Mr. Fulton is right, it's a combination. We have had a long period of drought, but also there's elevated heat, which makes it much more challenging for all our farmers, whether you do regular crops or livestock. So we've had that. We've also done things like provision of seeds. This program looks more at that. We provided $20 million now in relation to looking at providing seeds that are more drought resistant, and we have to do more of that as we again try to face some of the heat. But outside of immediate interventions, we've also been looking at things that can last us more long term. So the last program spoke a lot about having identified ponds and working with farmers who are willing to put in ponds to provide them with some of the implements that they need. So, as you would have just heard, there are some farmers who are willing to do the excavation, but they don't have the type of soil that will retain the water in a pond, and as such, they need pond liners. And such, we had identified 60 areas that we would work with farmers or farming groups to give them these pond liners to ensure that they have the water that they need.
What are pond liners, MP?
So, pond liners are, so let us think about you digging out an area where you're going to use to retain water, right? The liner lines the area so that it can retain the water. So when you do the excavation, let us say you have a plot of land, you excavate an area in some points where you have clay soil. If you compact the clay, then that area will retain water automatically. You don't need a liner. A number of areas, if you just do the excavation. Okay. Yeah.
I'm sorry, Minister. We're on a break. We'll be right back.
Touching lives every day, so many different ways, a part of all you do. Sagicor will make you feel secure. Reaching out for more, we'll always see you through. Reach for more, whatever you dreaming. Whatever your goals will help you achieve them. You're never alone. Taking care of today's needs, take care of tomorrow's dreams. Every day helping you succeed. That's what Sagicor needs. Today's needs, tomorrow's dreams. Sagicor.
Ooh la la! I see what I want at Phosphate Store-wide Summer Super Sale. Come get your wires, breakers, LED downlights, solar lamps, LED bulbs, standing fans, and so much more. Shop Kingston, Wonderful, and Bunty Bay. Come get your smart locks, smart bulbs, video doorbells, and video cameras. You can't afford to miss it. Come shop. Come save at Phosphate Super Sale, July 3 to August 31. See you there at Phosphate. Open Sundays.
At Flow, we are determined to get it right. Now, over 60% of Jamaica has access to our fiber fast network, with over 800 communities being upgraded since 2020. And there's more to come. Everything we're doing is inspired by our harshest critic, you. Join Jamaica's fiber fast network and rediscover Flow today.
There's certain moments in life you'll cherish forever. Like buying your first car, stepping into your first home, sending your child to university, starting that business you've always dreamed of. These are your great moments, and helping you achieve them is ours. Call Chris and Charles today. We have a loan for all the great moments in your life. Powering great moments since 1992. When you think loans, think Chris and Charles.
Nestle Clean Fun Fest Family Festival is fun can't done thanks to our partners Nestle Nestum, Nestle Lactogen 3, CB Food, Honeybun, New Pack, Crown Water, Big Up, Jamdex, Love FM, and Nestle Clean Going Up Milk. Come enjoy Fun Fest Family Festival with family, friends, and fun. Tuesday, August 1st, Emancipation Day at Hope Gardens. Gates open at 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. Come out early. Fun Fest.
Summertime, a time for choose, time for party, time for cut loose. Children play every day, run road trip and not get away. Choose, when you feel it deep, chill with the friends and the vibes we choose. Feeding up, try chill with the whole family and kick back on a bill. Summertime, a time for choose, time for party, time for cut loose. Choose goodness wherever, whenever. Choose. Of the follow Grace Sardine, that's a flavor. Grace Sardine with the chef and the beginner. Follow the one with pepper, that's the winner. Shop on supermarkets, everybody sell it. Do all of them nice. Pass the part, make push it.
Grace Sardines, follow the better flavor.
My Jamaican people, it's the third staging of the Jamaica Gospel Star Competition. Your votes will help to decide the 2023 winner. Tune into CBN TV, PBCJ, and JCDC's Facebook and YouTube platforms for 3 nail-biting episodes, Sunday, July 9, 16, and 23 at 8 p.m. to see your favorite gospel star. Then join us on Wednesday, August 2 at 7 p.m. to see who will take the title of Jamaica's next gospel star. Remember, vote for your favorite. This year's staging is powered by the Chase Fund.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. Thanks for staying with us. I'm your host, Dylan Toussaint, and this is the first watch. We're examining the government's response to assist farmers during the drought, and in so doing, we have online Minister Floyd Green and Mr. Fulton. Before the break, Minister Green, I'd interrupt your train of thought, please.
Yeah, that's fine. So I'll just quickly outline some other initiatives. So the ponds are important, but we're also doing rehabilitation to sort of catchment areas. We've identified some areas that, whether they were established years ago by the parish council, but they're in farming areas that are not now being utilized, that we're going to be rehabilitating, destilting, looking to see if they have some structural deficiencies that we can fix so that we can put them back into use to help the farmers in those areas. Additionally, we recognize that one of the challenges you have when you have elevated heat or drought conditions is just literally getting the trucks to be able to bring the water to the farmers where the farmers need water. So we've earmarked some money to purchase some trucks for the National Irrigation Commission so we can better be able to bring water to serve our farmers. The final thing that we have been doing, and I hope I've been seeing it, and it goes to part of Mr. Fulton's point, is that as much as we provide a response and we provide some of these things that I've outlined, we also are heavily out in the field trying to work with our farmers to change some of the practices to treat with especially the elevated heat. So we have dispatched our radar team, not just in the field, but also to utilize the media channels, and they have been in paper, on the radio, telling some of our farmers some of the different practices. Clearly, with elevated heat, you also have to look out for rising pests, and how do you treat with that if you're doing crop production, as you've heard in relation to livestock. When you graze your animals, if you're grazing the animals, does your pasture have shade? Where do you put the area that you're collecting the water? Is that left out in the sun, and as such, the water is getting hot? Do you need to put even cubes of ice in the water? Some of these things sound strange, but the reality, based on what the experts are saying, are some of the practices that you have to look to, because the average heat is so much higher. So not only are we providing actual cash support to get some of the things that we think are necessary, but we are also providing technical support to help our farmers maneuver this difficult time.
Great. Mr. Fulton, what more assistance is needed? I mean, the minister has outlaid a lot.
Well, we need more, but one has to consider the minister can only give what the budget that he has affords. And so we as farmers and heads of agency have to realize that a minister can't just get up and say, I'm going to give you $1 billion tomorrow. It has to come from somewhere. So my part of the discussion is to implore our farmers to do some very important things. For example, as the minister just said, he has a black tank program. But if you know this drought is going to get hotter and hotter, why can't the farmer dig a hole and put half the tank in the hole to keep the water cool? We have to improvise now, so that when you take the water to give your poultry or your goats or pigs, it is not at boiling temperature. So we need a response from the farmers, and that's what the JAS is doing. And that's what we'll bring to them at this year's Denby. Some technologies that they can use to give the government assistance a bigger bang for the buck. So it is something that we'll have to change the construction of our infrastructure, how we design pens, how we design everything now. Because this is not a government situation, this is a climate change situation, which we have never seen before. And it is manifesting itself more this year than any other year. I must say that the minister has responded very well and very quickly to the challenges. And he's also looking and importing some pigs and goats and sheep, cattle with greater efficiency for feed conversion, and possibly can withstand higher temperature than the strains of animal we now have.
Mr. Fulton, the importation of those livestock has raised some concerns in some people's minds. How is that going to work out in terms of our local economy and the market?
Well, so long as our farmers follow the instruction and do not put these animals into the meat trade, because there's a risk to everything.
So why are they imported? Let's start there. Why the idea to import them?
So again, Mr. Fulton kind of said it. The reality is that we have to look at our genetic strains that we have. How are they standing up, one, to elevated heat? But outside of the heat, how are they doing in terms of production? So if you're thinking about, let us say, dairy, how many liters are you getting from the breeds that we have here? How does that compare to the world average? Are there other genetic breeds that are giving more liters, that are able to manage the sort of conditions that we have? right? And let us look at goats in terms of what are the pound weights that you're getting. Is it efficient? Is it a sturdy goat? Again, we've seen over the time where we've been able to bring in some genetics, especially in our small ruminant line, that has helped. That when we do breeding with our own genetics, I bring in a much better animal. And that is critical. Part of what we have to consistently do, which we kind of stopped for a little while, is look across the world, not be afraid to do the necessary research, and where we need to strengthen our genetic line, to bring in to strengthen the genetic line.
What about concerns about diseases, though?
Absolutely. We have a very rigid program of assessment, and we don't just, somebody can't just go and say, boy, they found a farm in Timbuktu and they want to bring in a line because it produces, let's say, a lot of milk, right? There's a process that goes through the veterinary services division. It's managed by the ministry. In fact, the ministry has teams that go assess. They visit the farms, actually. They look at the animals. They do various testing that is needed. That's how it is done. So it goes back to even the first question. The program will be tightly managed by the ministry. Of course, we do need those who will participate to be honest, but we are also going to manage it tightly because the animals cannot be brought in without the approval of the Ministry of Agriculture, right? So clearly, the ministry is going to be bringing in a set of animals. Those are much easier to manage, but also for the program to work in terms of the sort of accelerated pace of development that you want. You also want farmers to be bringing in animals. So we're going to be working with the farmers to ensure that, one, that they're bringing in animals that are free from disease and monitoring that. Two, that the animals are used for the purpose, which is for the purpose of strengthening the genetic lines on their farms. And three, that they don't then divert those animals into the meat trade. So it's going to be a very managed process.
Mr. Fulton, the way forward, we have only 2 minutes. I'm going to ask you to do it in 1 minute so I can accommodate the minute.
The way forward is to put a little more pressure on my minister now to ask for some more resources. I know it's difficult, but we'll have to find more resources to provide more water, more black tanks, and to give more information, more literature, whatever, as to how farmers will retrofit their existing plants to withstand the climate change.
Yeah, because this is going to be with us for the rest of our lifetime.
Yes.
Yeah. Minister Green, way forward. What needs to be done?
Yeah, we definitely will have to look at additional resources as we move forward. Clearly, what we've had to be doing is reallocation. So, coming next financial year is something that we'll have to look at how we can treat with it. I want to encourage all the farmers and everybody to come out to Denby. I think Denby gives us a great opportunity to speak to farmers practically, to show them some things that can be done. The entire team from the ministry will be there, from the JS and our supporters, our input providers. So I think Denby is a good ground that we can help the farmers maneuver what will be a reality of elevated heat for our foreseeable future.
Great. Well, we want to thank you both gentlemen for coming on the program, for enlightening us. And we hope that we'll be better able over the coming weeks and months to further mitigate the effects of the drought. Have a safe and productive day, gentlemen.
You're welcome, sir.
No problem. Thank you.
Yes. Listeners, the Morning Watch will return in just a moment.
Anything possible with a little savings in your hand.
The time by JM Bank is
7:30.
When you sweat, you lose more than water. That's why Gatorade has fluids to hydrate, electrolytes to replenish, and carbs to fuel. For over 50 years, Gatorade has been studying sweat to understand what the body loses and what it needs. We have sweat down to a science. Gatorade. Sweat is glory.
Well, if you want buy appliances for your home with the quality high and the price low, get it on Habashco. Get it on Habashco.
Sign up online for your free Bashco loyalty card at www.bashcojm.com. It's easy and it's free. Shop and earn 3% cashback on every purchase. www.bashcojm.com.
Bashco, the store that gives you more. Bashco. Power in great moments. If you have financial needs, Chris and Charles will fix them for you. Power in great moments since 1992. Oh, we have it all. Power in great moments. Relax, you got Chris and Charles. Oh, we have it all. When you think alone, think Chris and Charles.
Win over $1 million in cash and prizes in the Yummy Summer Competition. Purchase any 4 different Yummy pastries. Write your name and number on your receipt. Send in with your Yummy salesman or drop off at the nearest supermarket or Yummy agency. 28 weekly prizes, 4 winners every week, plus grand draw August 28th for a laptop. $60,000, $30,000, plus a Yummy basket and back-to-school vouchers. Grand prize, a family weekend for 4 at the Holiday Inn. It's the Yummy Summer Competition, authorized under Section 58(3) of the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Act.
Charvet Distribution Limited, in association with New Vision Faith Apostolic Ministries, presents Gospel Celebration with Dietrich Haddon, Sherwin Gardner, Kevin Downswell, Rhoda Isabella, Petra Kay, Sister Pat, and others. Friday, July 28th at Sugarman Beach Helcher at 6 p.m. 5,000 pre-sold, 5,500 at the gate, VIP 9,000. Get your tickets at Gina, St. Diego, and York Pharmacies. New Vision Faith Apostolic Ministries International and SpurOpen.com. Info lines 876-314-6243 and 876-861-5546. It's a gospel celebration.
My kids are growing up in a rapidly changing world. They amaze me every day with their curiosity and passion for wanting to create a better future for us all. The government is investing in Jamaicans through the STEM scholarship program. Now, my kids have the opportunity to pursue studies in the fields of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics to get certified as STEM professionals. And yours can too. Find out more at www.mof.gov.jm/scholarships. Sign up for a STEM scholarship today.
Nestle Clean Fun Fest Family Festival is fun can done thanks to our partners Nestle Nestum, Nestle Lactogen 3, CB Food, Honeybun, New Pack, Cran Water, Big Up, Jamdex, Love FM, and Nestle Clean Growing Up Milk. Come enjoy Fun Fest Family Festival with family, friends, and fun. Tuesday, August 1st, Emancipation Day at Hope Gardens. Gates open at 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. Come out early. Fun Fest.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. Thanks for staying with us. I'm your host, Dylan Toussaint. In our second watch, we will be looking at the whole matter of real estate. And so coming up next, we'll read some of the feedback from our social media question. What's your real estate dream? What's your real estate dream? We're asking you to leave a comment on our Facebook page and YouTube channel, Love 101 FM Jamaica, or WhatsApp 876-997-3125. Soon come back.
Kingston, are you ready for I Love Summer? Yep, I Love Summer is coming to Kingston at the Halfway Tree Transport Center this Friday, July 28th, 2 p.m. to 7 p.m. We have so much in store for you, so don't miss it now. See you there.
Get ready to be taken back this Thursday, July 27, inside Love in the Morning with me, your host, Jukal Jair. Listen throughout the show for tips on how to become the best version of who you are. In the feature, Becoming You. Grab your cup of coffee and start the day right with the Morning Coffee Pick-Me-Up Devotional at 6 a.m. Then at 7 a.m., we bring you the Morning Watch with intriguing and thought-provoking discussions. At 8:40 a.m., we take it up a notch with scenarios and situations that make you stop and wonder, what would I do? 9:30 a.m. is the Voice of Power, brought to you by the Power Faith Ministries. So stick and stay with us. This Take Me Back Thursday inside Love in the Morning, 5 to 10 a.m. on the family station, Love 101, celebrating 30 years of music, family, and love.
A spiritual start in the morning.
Get ready for another inspiring show this Testimony Tuesday inside Alive, 1 to 5, July 25, packed with inspirational stories and island-flavored music. 1:45, we bring you the brain testing Menticize Listener Speak Edition. Stick around for prayer blast at 2 o'clock as we ring in the prayer bells of heaven. 2:15 inside the evidence, we share with you another powerhouse testimony boasting about the power of God. Then at 3:15, we go behind the pulpit for another anointed minister's story. All this and more will come alive 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. July 25 with me, Sarah, and the Chirpy One on the family station, Love 101, celebrating 30 years of music, family, and love.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. Thanks for staying with us. I'm your host, Dylan Toussaint. And as we now segue into the second watch, many of us have grown up hearing that investing in real estate is one of the best decisions that one could ever make. However, in light of some of the economic challenges and the changes over the years, is this still so? Well, to answer this and other related questions, we have joining us Ms. Keisha Bailey, wealth coach, and Mr. Howard Johnson, public funding advisory of the Project Star. Good morning to you both.
Good morning to you, Sir Toussaint.
Yes. Morning, Ms. Keisha Bailey.
Morning.
Right. I trust you're both doing okay.
Yes, all is good.
This morning.
Great. Let me just, let's cut to the chase. Why and how is real estate a great investment? Beginning with you, Miss Bailey.
So, if we go just to the very basics of it, the whole essence of investing is so that you can beat inflation. The only way you're gonna have money or have wealth is if your money is working hard for you, as people say, right? Make your money work for you. And what I really mean is that your money is growing faster than inflation. Your money is growing faster than how the prices of everything else going up, right? So you go supermarket, buy gas, you have to pay for your day-to-day living. The cost of living goes up every day, every week, every year. You need to make sure then that your money is growing faster than that. And real estate is one of those investments that gives you that kind of return. So when you invest in real estate over the long term, you're able to beat inflation. The value of the real estate goes up more than the value of the prices of goods and services. So that from that basis alone, right, without even going into anything else what happening, from that basis alone, real estate makes sense because this is how you can build wealth and make your money work for you.
Mr. Johnson, your take on that? You're a realtor.
Yes, sir. I totally agree with Miss Bailey. Real estate has proven itself over the years to be a solid investment. Where other instruments have come into, jeopardy or, is compromised over a period of time. Real estate over the years has always been a top performer. And we see even some of the instruments that fuels other or entities that fuel other instruments, it's hedged against real estate. So worldwide, it has proven itself to be one of the best and most solid investment you can make to ensure that you amass wealth.
And I'm just curious, Mr. Johnson, because persons perhaps are asking why they call it real estate. All the other investments are unreal.
No, but this one you can feel, you can touch, you can, unlike the new, you have the new notes that you can feel and touch, right? That's straight money. But this real investment, you can see land, you can walk on it, you can open doors, windows. It's a real asset. Something that is tangible.
Yeah, and still with you, it's oftentimes said that the first rule of thumb in real estate investment is location, location, location. What are the other rules of thumb, if any?
Well, that is primarily the go-to. It's a catchphrase that has been used over the years and is still proven true today. But even outside of the location, you look at the types of investment that you're putting in. What will yield you the best result? Is it a farmland? Is it a commercial real estate, residential? And if residential, is it an apartment, townhouse, or single-family home? Those are different elements that will inform your decision and even determine your location. But again, outside of location, these are the different elements that can inform your decision, which is the types of real estate that you're investing. And not even just the real estate, because some persons invest in real estate, but through real estate instruments and REITs, etc., real estate investment trusts, funds. Those are persons who will do the heavy lifting and you just invest and fund them. So again, that's another form of real estate that is outside of location that one can consider.
Ms. Bailey, your take on that?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'd say also, with real estate, the location, yes, is the primary driver for sure. But even inside the real estate investment trusts, the REITs, which are, they're pushed for more the smaller investor, the person who just get started with real estate investing and they may not have, the full amount of money to go make a deposit and buy an actual property. They can invest in the REIT, and a lot of the banks, the investment houses in Jamaica offer REITs. The thing with the REITs, they're managed by a professional manager, but inside the REIT, the location matter because the manager of the REIT
Hold
is
on.
gonna make
What
sure
you
then
said,
that they
REIT?
come back.
REIT? You said REIT?
REIT.
What's that?
REIT, Real Estate Investment Trust.
Okay.
It's essentially a unit trust that inside it has different real estate investments. The financial banks, they all offer REITs for persons who want to invest in real estate, but they're not quite ready yet with it in terms of how much money they have to buy a physical property. Or maybe they have a physical property, but they just want additional real estate investments that they don't really have to go and physically purchase a property. The REITs are a really good investment option there. But inside the REIT, the location matters. The thing really, is just to get the real estate exposure. Some people can go straight to buying a physical property. Some people are really quite there yet. So we look at the REITs for them in that respect. And as long as you're getting the exposure, that's what matters, right? Because we want our money to work for us. All that really matters at the end of the day is that you have some form of investment in the real estate sector.
Yeah. All right. So we're talking about, what is it? REIT are real estate investment trust.
Trust, yeah.
Right. Okay. Well, we're up on a break. Hold those thoughts because we need to talk about a whole lot more. We'll be right back.
Sardine for the chef and the beginner. Follow the one with pepper, that are the winner. Shop on supermarkets, everybody sell it.
Sardines, follow the better flavor.
The time is
7:45.
Refreshing your space should be a breeze. And at Active Home Center, we have made it easy by having what you need all in one place. Shop the largest selection of tiles, bathroom fixtures, lighting, doors, and more. Visit us at 84 Carlton Spring Road in Kingston or check out our newly opened location in Freeport, Montego Bay. Come speak with our in-house experts and hit refresh on your space. Active Home Center. More savings, more choices.
Whoa, juicy, are the real party pro? Everybody love. Careful, don't burn up your mouth. Juicy, have the best patties. One bag of flavor, them fling panny. Love it, freshly baked, flaky crust. Make me full, me gut, the gas a bus. Beef, shrimp or veggie patty. Whoa, juicy, have the flavor you love. Chicken or plant-based patty. Whoa, juicy, are the real party pro? Juicy, have the party, them Jamaica love. Get it today, island-wide.
When you retire, you're still going to get up.
Rise and shine.
You're still going to get out, ready for the road, because you're retiring from work, not your lifestyle. With a Sagicor Lifestyle Approved Retirement Scheme, individuals can save up to 20% of their income towards retirement tax-free. So when you've reached retirement, you'll have more than a rocking chair waiting for you.
I'm ready for my day at the spa.
Start saving for your golden years with a Sagicor Lifestyle Approved Retirement Scheme. Apply online at elife.sagicorjamaica.com.
There's certain moments in life you'll cherish forever. Like buying your first car, stepping into your first home, sending your child to university, starting that business you've always dreamed of. These are your great moments, and helping you achieve them is ours. Call Chris and Charles today. We have a loan for all the great moments in your life. Powering great moments since 1992. When you think loans, think Chris and Charles.
My Jamaican people, it's the third staging of the Jamaica Gospel Star Competition. Your votes will help to decide the 2023 winner. Tune into CBN TV, PBCJ, and JCDC's Facebook and YouTube platforms for 3 nail-biting episodes, Sunday, July 9, 16, and 23 at 8 p.m. to see your favorite gospel star. Then join us on Wednesday, August 2 at 7 p.m. to see who will take the title of Jamaica's next gospel star. Remember, vote for your favorite. Your staging is powered by the Chase Fund.
School's out, and we're going to have lots of fun at Nestle King Fest Family Festival. Tuesday, August 1st at Hope Garden. Bounce, spin, ride, play in the fantastic fun zone. Mascot parade, games arcade, fantastic train ride, and bingo. Adults 1,000, children 3 years and over 800, and toddlers free. Fest Family Festival, Tuesday, August 1st, Emancipation Day edition at Hope Garden. Gates open at 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. Come on early. Fun Fest.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. Thanks for staying with us. I'm your host, Dylan Toussaint, and in this, the second half of the second watch, we continue to discuss the whole matter of real estate. Is it really a great investment? And in so doing, we have online Mr. Howard Johnson, whom among many other things is a realtor, CEO of Howard Johnson Reality. And also we have Ms. Keisha Bailey, who is a wealth coach, among many other things. Ms. Bailey, how does investment in real estate score when compared with investment in stocks and bonds only, separate and apart from any association with real estate?
So you're gonna need all of them, but we'll probably start there. You're gonna need all because what we want to create is a portfolio, and we need all of those three things: the real estate, the stock, the bonds, to create that portfolio. Why we need the three of them? Because we need to do this thing called diversification. So remember, like you're setting up your plate for Sunday dinner. You have little chicken, rice, veg. You get a balanced meal. The same thing when you're building out your portfolio. You need a nice balanced portfolio. You need to have a little bit of different types of investments. So you're gonna need real estate, stocks, and bonds, among other types of investments as well. Now, the thing with real estate versus the stocks and the bonds is that stock prices in particular, everybody probably has seen a lot of the IPOs that were popular in the last couple of years. And you know that the price can move very drastically in a very short period of time.
Mm-hmm.
Real estate doesn't really do that. So you will find that with the stock market, you're up, you triple your money today, but the value fall back tomorrow. And not a lot of people can stomach that volatility. Someday I make whole heap of money, next day you're not. So this is where real estate comes in as that stabilizer, because the value of real estate doesn't really swing all over the place like with stocks. So when you have the two of them together, that combination brings you some amount of stability with your money.
Mm-hmm.
Bonds come in now to help with cash flow. The bonds are there now because not all the stocks will pay you some dividends, so you get money. The bonds give you that cash flow that you need as well. That's why I'm saying you need all three, because that's how we come up with this overall balance. Same like you like your Sunday meal to be balanced. You don't just do all chicken and you just sit down and eat a full plate of chicken, or you do all rice and you just sit down and rice. You combine and get a nice balanced
But
meal in the same way you need that with your portfolio.
Keisha, if you were to choose one, which one do you think is a better option?
It depends on what you are looking for. I know we're going a little into investment advice, which I cannot give and will not give, but it really comes back to what your goals are. The best choice for you is going to be based on your goals. If you want aggressive growth, the real estate and the stocks come in there. If you want regular cash flow, bonds are what you'd be looking at. If you want just sustainable long-term, growth, steady, slow and steady growth, you build out that portfolio and you have it. But it really depends on some people I am okay with volatility in the stock market. I am fine with it personally. So I will always have stocks. But I know a lot of other persons say, boy, me can't bother with it, me can't take this up, down, sideways movement. And so they don't have a big stock portfolio. They have no stocks. Some people just exclusively say, real estate, and they do different type of real estate strategy, but it really comes down to what you are looking for, what your goals are.
Howard, there's some horror stories out there in terms of rental and the collection of rental and the tussle between landlords and tenants. In light of all of that, how can one say that real estate is a great investment for those who are going in that direction in terms of renting out their property?
Yes, well, having practiced for over 26 years in the Jamaican market, I've been privy to many of those horror stories. But there's a common denominator amongst all of them. And that is the fact that many of them had tried to avoid professional advice. And, when you think of real estate and the how massive it is and impactful it is on your portfolio as a main course, you want to make sure you get the recipe right. And sometimes you have to rely on some professional videos for your recipe. And in this case, you may need to rely on proper advice from realtors, such as myself, legal advice. You get a lawyer, ensure you secure the services of a surveyor, valuer. All of these things can impact on your investment. But as it comes down to rentals, you have to do some amount of due diligence, and not every landlord has the access and capability to do those background checks on who they're renting to. Some of them are dazzled by those persons who can pay 6 months up front. Where did that money come from, and will you be able to get another month after that 6 months have expired? You didn't even do the due diligence to see if the person has an income, right? They just came across some money. You don't know if the person is running from one bad situation and needing to move in tonight because they were evicted, right? So the professionals are who would come in to secure and advise and do those checks on your behalf. And then you will avoid those horror stories. And then you will now believe that your real estate will really work for you because you now have a very good tenant. Because contrary to even some of the horror stories, you have persons who have never even increased their rent for all 10 years because of the type of tenant they have in there. Them just
Yes.
don't want to lose a tenant. You understand? And that's because good due diligence was taken and the professional advice was observed.
Yes. Miss Bailey, what in your view are some of the downsides to real estate investment? Is there any downside to it? Because everything
This
is
is where you want
going
me to hang
good
up,
so far.
Toussaint? This is where you want me to hang up because there's no doubt.
That well, I was gonna come and say that. I was gonna jump in and say that, and I like that. You build on the meal thing and talk about the recipe. That is
Yeah.
true. That is important for sure. With the downside really comes if you don't know what you're doing. But
Mm.
as Howard already said, you need expert guidance. If you don't know what you're doing, don't do anything. Go and get some help, right? A lot of time people try and wing it and then say, let me try a thing. Let me do this. My sister, this did work for somebody. Me, I gotta try it too. Not the way to go, right? Get expert help because it will save you in the long run. It honestly does,
How
right? And
long?
you, hmm?
I'm sorry. How long is long run? When do you know that you're supposed to be selling now to liquidate your assets, for example?
I don't ever sell real estate. I don't ever sell because there are a lot of ways I can pull money from real estate. So there's no need for me to sell. I will never sell. My personal views, right? So it's one of those investments that really provides a lot of different options for you. You don't need to sell the property because there are ways that you can bring out cash out of the property.
Even if
So
it's located in an unfortunate situation,
that's
an
why the
area.
location come in first, and you have to get the expert guidance. So when you go try to do it yourself, and you go buy in an area where you think, wait there, this look all right. Didn't do your research, didn't ask anybody for any guidance. Yeah, the strategy breakdown. You're not going to be able to do a lot of the things you see other people doing with their real estate. If you did it the right way, there's no need to sell because you can pull equity out of the house repeatedly. So there's no need to sell the property. You sell though if you make a bad decision. That's a different argument in and of itself. Different discussion there when you I go make a bad choice. I have to sell to come out of that bad decision.
And you're selling your bad decision and bad choice to somebody now to take that on as their
They
burden.
call it the greater fool. the bigger
You know
the
what?
bigger fool who also would not
Oh
have
my.
gotten advice. Yeah.
Oh my. Howard, your take on that?
Well, for me, as Keisha mentioned, you don't really sell real estate, but there are times when persons may have made a mistake, and it's not that we're necessarily calling anybody fools, but there may be someone who can stomach that sort of opportunity. For instance, you may buy into an up and coming area, or you heard that this area is going to be up and coming. It's kind of dangerous at the moment, and you take a chance, but it's taking too long to manifest, and somebody said, "Well, I'll take it off the hand," and they wait for another 5 years, and all of a sudden you see this high-rise building going up, and you say, "But I never thought that something like this. I never know that the highway was going to be built here." So passed that on because you did not have the patience to wait it out, and you decided to sell because the level of return that you were anticipating was not coming fast enough for you. So that turnover, and in some instances, persons would buy early into, say, a development, and their intention is just to come in and get out. So they buy early from the development, get a discount, and then when it's the last unit they now sell, that's a good time to sell because you're now immediately getting a good return on your investment, and that's all you will need. So there are many times when you will realize that now is the time to sell. Communities may change. Communities may not adhere to their rules and regulations, such as their bylaws. You might buy into a subdivision and they said no additions, and then everybody starts put upstairs and then bedroom is tucked on beside yours. When there's no governance, then that's a good time to sell because things are breaking down. Now, somebody may not have a problem getting that property at a particular rate and benefiting because they don't mind that kind of living. They're okay with it. But persons want a different type of investment. So that's why I agree with Keisha that it is what you want out of it that will determine what is in your portfolio ultimately.
Yes. Any closing thoughts, Keisha, and then Howard? Half a minute.
So, wealth is possible. Yeah, wealth is possible for everybody. That's one thing I firmly believe in. So, as much as we discussed today, some people may be listening and thinking, boy, you know, that sounds nice, but it's not for me. I don't have it. I can't do it. I want to tell those persons that don't limit yourself or your thinking. We spoke about many different ways to invest in real estate. As simple as the REIT, the real estate
We got
investment
to,
trust, where
yeah, we got to leave it
that
there.
one is
Howard. We got to leave
yes.
it there.
All right.
Thank you.
No problem.
Thank you both
Thank
for
you very
joining us.
much,
Have a
Dr. Toussaint,
productive
for
day.
having us. Yeah,
Great.
you too.
All
Thank
right.
you,
Bye.
listeners, for being with us. Join us again tomorrow as we continue to set the stage for a discussion of topical and controversial issues. For information, we'll get copies of this program. Call our production department at 876-968-959627. This has been the Morning Watch. Thanks to our producer, Kathy Gale, and our guests. I'm Dallin Toussaint, and you're back to Love in the Morning with Jokan.
The Morning Watch was brought to you by Chris and Charles. When you think loans, think Chris and Charles Investments. Time on Love 101 is now 8:01 a.m. and you are now invited to listen to Forward in Faith, brought to you by the Portmore New Testament Church of God in Bayside, Portmore.
Lord will return to this earth some sweet day, or sorrow will